Leon, man, you're returning back to CES. Looking at your opponent, I think this is a great matchup for you. Tell me how you're feeling heading into your eighth trip into the CES cage.
Andrew's a great opponent. I'm very excited for this fight. I have nothing but good things and respect for Andrew. He's a great guy. And he's gonna be, like I've been telling everyone, it's going to be one of my toughest fights to date. I've been training really hard, and I know he has too. So it's going to be a clash of two great athletes.
Looking at him with more than enough experience, with 18 fights under his belt, what do you know about your opponent?
He's a wrestler. I know he's wrestled D2 in college, so it's going to be a good fight. He has a good stand up. Good jiu-jitsu. He trains at a great gym. I have nothing but respect for Matt Santos and all those guys over at Santos's gym. So I know he's going to be prepared. I'm going to be prepared. I've been training my ass off. Like I said, I know he's been training his ass off. He's fought all beasts. Like, he hasn't had an easy fight whatsoever. He's a tough Philly guy. That he'll just go out there and fight anyone, and he's just down to fight.
How does it feel to be able to return back down to your natural weight, to where you've been most dominant at lightweight?
No, it feels good. I actually had to stay on a diet this training camp. I couldn't eat pizza and everything 2 days before weigh-in, so that kind of sucked. But I'm back on the diet and everything, and making the cut down to 155 isn't that hard when you have a good diet and everything. I learned that.
Most of your appearances has been on the main card. Where are you falling on the card this time?
I'm on prelims.
Prelims.
Yes, I'm a prelim guy this time. There's, if you look at the fight card, there's a bunch of studs and everything. They packed the, fight card, and I'm just excited to be on the card and being able to fight, Rather, honestly, just fight than go and eat a cheeseburger, honestly. So it doesn't matter where I fight. I'm just excited to be back in there. I wanted 5 fights this year, and I'm at 3 right now. I just want to keep the ball rolling. I don't really, it's cool. It's cool to be on TV and everything. I'm happy for all those guys that are on TV. I think it's great for them. What I mean? I'm going to be cheering those guys on. Most of them are my training partners. Nate, Gary, all those guys, Banana. I like all those guys, and I'm excited to see them, fight, and I think it's their time to shine. I don't mind taking a back seat to all those studs. There's nothing to be ashamed about, with it. I'm just honored to be on the, card, and I get to fight, probably one of the tougher guys on the card. So, I think, I'm going to go out there and just treat it like a, another fight, and just keep, the ball rolling. I don't really care about being on the main card, prelims, first fight of the night, last fight of the night. It's just I'm just excited to be able to fight and compete. It's better than being on the sidelines not doing anything. So I got nothing to complain about.
Now you talk about sidelines. You had a tough year in 2016. You were only able to enter the cage once after numerous opponent issues. You're now entering, as you had commented, into the cage for the 3rd time in 2017. How refreshing is it to be able to be so much more active and, like you said, not on the sidelines?
Oh, I'm just excited. I have to give all the credit to Tyson. He's fighting for me to get fights and everything. And I know it's a pain in the ass a lot to give me fights. I'm just thankful. Tyson, he knows how thankful I am. I call him all the time and just thank him. We both have the same goal, and just want to get to the UFC. That's it. That's the goal. Nothing else matters. Not being on the main card of this fight, not being, we just want to just get to the UFC. That's all I care about. I don't care where I fight, who I fight. I could fight in Florida on a undercard. Honestly, I really don't care. Like, I just like to compete. I wasn't able to do MMA fights last year because, a lot of shit happened, fights getting pulled the day of weigh-ins, people not taking fights, But I was still active. I was doing wrestling tournaments. I was doing jiu-jitsu tournaments. I was trying to do Thai boxer smokers, so I was still active in everything. I just couldn't do any MMA fights. I'm always training. I'm always competing. So, that's one thing that I try to do is just always constantly compete. Even if it's not an MMA fight. I like doing the MMA fights, They're my bread and butter. And, I do have a bucket list of stuff that I want to accomplish, and definitely getting in the UFC, winning fights there, competing for a world championship is definitely one of the items on my bucket list. So I'm a firm believer. Tyson's a firm believer. Jeremy's a firm believer. All my coaches, Dave, everyone are firm believers, and we have an opponent in front of us. We're not looking past Andrew Osborne. Andrew Osborne is tough. We have to get by Andrew Osborne for all these other doors to open. There's no sense of looking past them if we don't get through Andrew Osborne. So right now it's 100% on Andrew Osborne. Just like I said with Ralph when we had our interview, when I fought Ralph on 2 weeks' notice, and then when I fought Jay on a week's notice, I told you the same thing, that I'm just looking at Jay. Right now, the main objective is Andrew Osborne, and that's it. Nothing else matters.
Now, to sort of piggyback on that fact that this hasn't been a short notice opponent, and that's definitely, I'm sure, impacted your ability to properly prepare. Tell me how, not so much what you've been preparing for, but how the preparing is different when you're able to say, okay, this is my opponent. This is how long I have to train.
Just been right after my last fight. It was just, we rolled right into this training camp, and we're just doing all the same things. Going down, working with the guys at Signaton. They helped me out a lot. Everyone at Triforce helped me out a lot. Everyone here at Fighting Arts Academy helped me out a lot. Me and Jeremy have a game plan that we're going to go stick with. Been working in the midst with Dave. Been doing jiu-jitsu with John Manley, all black belts I get to roll with. So I'm prepared. I like I told Jer when I had we call it a year vacation. Since people didn't want to book me. I won't say any names or anything, but I spent that year where I think some people would have went out partying, every weekend, got drunk every night, smoking and everything, and just partying. I actually was training every single day. So I went like this. I didn't go like this.
Yeah.
I went like this. And to get successful, you have to improve, and you have to go like this. It's not going to be a straight line up. There's going to be bumps and everything, but I'm doing everything I can right now to be successful. So that's all I can say. I'm training my hardest, like I can. I'm busting my ass, so I have nothing to complain about. I have nothing. They're going to get 110% next Friday night.
And it's funny because I I instill those same values with my kids. Is it might be a vacation, or it might not be in season, but you still have to keep your skills fresh. So it's summertime, and you better believe that dad still has them reading, dad still has them doing math, and because you don't want that regression, you don't want to fall back.
You never want to go back in life. You always want to go forward. That's one thing. You always want to go forward. You always want to improve in something.
Yeah.
I can say the best thing that ever happened to me was fighting that Russian World Series of Fighting, because I thought that I could just carry through the sport with my wrestling. I was like, I don't need to train my wrestling. That fight opened my eyes. I was just doing jiu-jitsu at the time. I'm like, yeah, I'm good with the wrestling. That opened my eyes. I have to keep on improving on the wrestling, because there's always someone better than you in an aspect of wrestling. There's always someone better than you in an aspect of jiu-jitsu, striking. You have to get everything better. You have to keep on going up in every aspect, conditioning. Even mental conditioning. People don't understand that you have to just, every aspect of fighting. There's so many different aspects of fighting, of life, that you have to keep on improving, to get where you want.
How important is is it for you with some guys say it's not important at all. Other guys say rankings are a good gauge to see how their peers and the fans place them amongst other fighters. How does that impact you? And do you think that's something significant when you're trying to make it to the next level as far as rankings above your peers?
You know, when I was in high school and everything, and I saw the rankings online, I was like always looking at who was in front of me, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh, this guy's ranked number one. Now I don't care, man. Honestly, I don't really give a shit. Like I'm on CombatSportsNation.com before I'm on Mass MMA or anything. Like, to be honest with you, I'd rather look at, you know, see what's going on with, you know, the new comic book movies, you know, the new Marvel movies than MMA. Like, I always tell my coaches and everyone, like, I could quit MMA tomorrow and be fine. I do this because I love it. I don't do it, you know, I don't do it like for some people to be cool. I don't do it like some people, you know, to just like, you know, to be like have all the lights on me and everything, or have like 5,000 Facebook fans. I don't care. If you ever see me at the fights, I'm like sitting there, I'm on my phone, and I'm watching the fights. I think it's awesome. You know, I generally like the sport, you know, but I have other things I want to do in my life than this. You know, I don't. When I'm here training, I give it 120%. You know, when I'm in camp, it's my life. You know, when I'm out of camp, I still give it 120%, but I'm looking at other things. I don't care about rankings. I don't care about who's beating who's fighting who. You know, I do my homework, and I kind of have like tunnel vision when it comes to like that stuff. I don't really care about that. Like, I have other like stuff that I want to read than read. You know, rankings. I'm here almost, you know, 7 hours a day training. I don't want to go home on my off time and go look at, you know,
MMA stuff.
Yeah.
So,
you know, I'll watch fights. I'll watch like the UFC fights and everything and dissect and see what I can learn off of it. But that's about it. I don't go online. I don't read play-by-plays. I don't read rankings, you know.
to bring it back full circle, what can the fans expect, and what is your opponent going to learn about you? What is Andrew going to learn about you real quick once the cage door is shut behind you?
You know, fans can expect fireworks in this fight. It's going to be a tough technical fight between the both of us, and I'm going to learn a lot about myself in this fight, and Andrew's going to learn a lot about himself, and whoever has the biggest heart's going to win, because we're both skilled warriors, we're both tough, we're both durable, and we both have, you know, we're going to see who has the bigger heart.
Follow us on Instagram, watch us on YouTube, check us out on Facebook, visit us on Twitter, and stay tuned.